If you guys have seen my laptop unboxings in the past, you know I compare it to my Lenovo ThinkBook. Well, Lenovo must have seen that because they sponsored this video for me to check out their Lenovo Legion 7 AMD. And maybe it's good enough that I can finally retire my daily driver. Well, we gotta open it up first and take a look. Out of the two chips that you can get in this laptop, this is the higher end one, which is the AMD AI9, at a stroke. The AMD Ryzen AI9 HX470, a 12-core, 24-thread processor that can boost up to 5.2 gigahertz. And I think the white version looks a lot better than my silver, but is it gonna get my fingerprints all over it? Actually, that's not bad. I got pretty greasy fingers too. Well, okay, we'll look at the rest of this in a second. Let's see what else is in the box. Some cardboard and our power cable, which uses Lenovo's rectangular plug here, because this can actually deliver, where's the wattage? A 245 watt charge to this bad boy, which is higher than USB-C can do. Saying that, this laptop can still charge over USB-C, which is nice, so you don't need to lug around the power brick, unless I guess you're gonna be doing some physical demanding tasks on it, but we'll see when we get there. Let's go through the I/O here. On this side, we have a full-size SD card reader, our camera switch for our electronic shutter there. It's not a physical one like you would see on the camera housing. This is this? Oh, that's USB. I thought that was the power cable for a second. Boop. Around back, we have a full-size HDMI, and there's the power cord, which I like rear I/O on laptops, especially if you're gonna be using this at your desk all the time. You can have it plugged in, all the I/O at the back that you would need. I do wish they maybe moved one of these USB-C ports over to the side, because on the left, we have two of our USB-C ports, another USB-A, and a headphone audio jack. It's not the most I/O I've seen on a laptop, but they definitely could have cut corners, so I appreciate having two USB-As and two USB-Cs. And these USB ports are actually USB 4, which means you can get 40 gigabit a second on them. And the rear one here is the 140 watt charging. They both can do charging, you just can't do them both at the same time. And the HDMI I actually skipped over is a HDMI 2.1, which means 8K display. Because you're totally gonna be doing that on this laptop. Obviously not, but hey, it's an option for you. The one person who has an 8K display. I wanna open this up. I guess while it's booting up, I can go over the rest of the specs that are in this device. In our laptop here, we have 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5X memory at 8,533 megatransfers a second. It's able to hit that speed because it is soldered memory. So you will not be upgrading it yourself after, but if you want, you can upgrade the kit when you purchase it to 64 gigabytes, which in a laptop, I always think that 64 seems overkill. Unless maybe this is your primary station, and getting into that later, you will be able to do some productivity work because this display is really good. I mean, I don't think it's very good on the glare side of things. You can see, but I'm also shining it directly at a light, so that's probably not the best showing for it. But at an initial glance, just when I power it on here and I see it, oh, I like it. Look at that pretty wallpaper. And continuing on the specs, sorry, it's got a 1 terabyte Gen 4 SSD in here. That is something you can upgrade. There are 2 SSD slots in this device. They say it can go up to Gen 5, but they only ship it with a Gen 4. So maybe that's an upgrade after the fact for you. And as for the GPU that's in here, it is the RTX 5060. It draws 115 watts, which our labs was able to verify. And right away, like I said, man, I like the colors on this. It is an OLED display. It's not a touch display, which for me is a downer. I like to have a touch screen on a laptop. I find it really nice when I'm on set or something. I just need to quickly scroll or find some information. Little bit of a downgrade, but it is 240 hertz, which maybe if I'm gaming at work, that could be pretty nice, I guess. That's pretty good. It's also a 16 by 10 display instead of a 16 by 9 display, which gives a little bit more vertical room. Again, for someone like me who has a lot of scripts on it, I think that that's great. I think 16 by 10 is a better aspect ratio and we should all just adopt it, even for desktops personally. We're gonna get right into a typing test here, which what I do the most on my laptop. I don't really game that much, so gotta do the side by side. Actually, it's on par with my current daily driver, and I love this laptop's keyboard. So I love this keyboard then. Okay, it actually feels really, really good to type on. I think the only thing is maybe it's a little quieter, but I can't tell if that's just because I've abused this keyboard pretty aggressively. I like it though. Trackpad, on the other hand, when I first gave it a click, I don't think I'm as big of a fan as my current one. it feels a little bit too mushy for me. Saying that gliding over the trackpad feels really nice. It's just the click that feels a little off to me. One thing that would worry me though is because this is an ultra thin and ultra light, how much does it flex? Oh wow. Let's see if I can get it on camera here. I'm going pretty aggressive, and because I walk around with my laptop like this all the time. That would be the only thing I scare is the screen falling. The actual chassis itself feels pretty good. And even the screen, I mean, it's got flex because it's a screen, obviously it's so much thinner, but I feel like I just need to keep making comparisons. I should stop putting this laptop on the floor. I mean, this laptop has more bend. I can feel it for sure. Screen's about the same, but my screen is also thicker. So do with that information what you will. But let's watch a YouTube video. 70% volume. It's already like deafening, but we gotta crank it. 100% for the drop, baby. Here we go, here's Crab Rave. Holy cow. Wow, you would be the annoying kid in college with this. That is a loud, loud speaker. For how loud they are, I was expecting them to sound a lot worse. And these are down-firing speakers, as you can see right here. And they're firing into the soft mouse pad here, so I'm not even getting probably the best reflections out of it. But man, now that I'm listening again, there's a tiny bit of crackling. But I guarantee you, if I went down like 20%, much better immediately. So you could still annoy your college friends with this. That's good to know. We removed the mouse pad now, and I want to see if it sounds even better. We're still at 80%. They're pretty good speakers, man. Now that we're done our audio test, I want to look at the display here. This is our RE footage that you can find on our ShortCircuit channel. It's a very pretty display. Am I at max brightness too? Where am I? I am at max brightness. Okay, let's crank this down. Let's see how dim it gets. Wow, it gets quite dim. You can't even pick it up on our camera anymore. Why are there so many fingerprints on the screen? I got pretty greasy fingers too. Greasy fingers. When our labs did the testing on the screen, they also were pretty impressed with the results. In SDR, it's decent in the color accuracy field, and it was able to hold its 500 nits claimed brightness, but in HDR is where this thing really does stand out. By their definition, an amazing HDR experience, or close to the artist's intent. It's able to hit the 1100 nits that they claim in a 50% window, which I guess if you're using it for outdoor use is incredibly bright, or if you are in a properly light controlled environment, you would probably be able to get some professional video editing done on this. Maybe not quite like a mastering display, but it is an unbelievably good display in HDR. Should we get into some gaming? Hell yeah. 1% lows hitting about 47 or so. And it did take a while for the fans to ramp up, which is nice. So maybe if you're playing like a lighter indie game, the fans wouldn't get as loud. But now that I've been driving around a little bit, I can tell the fans needed to pick up. Saying that, it's still quieter than a lot of other gaming laptops I've used. I wouldn't necessarily define it as quiet though. Oh, got in a car crash. But I think that the fans are quiet enough that if you had a pair of headphones on, they wouldn't bother you at all. And while I was just browsing and watching YouTube videos, it was dead silent, which again, like I said, some other laptops I've looked at would ramp up when loading a YouTube video. So in terms of the noise, seems on par or better than what I would expect. A good thing about having a big chunky power brick, like I mentioned earlier, the 245 watt one, is that this laptop draws about 125 watts, meaning if you're using that, you know you're gonna stay fully charged the entire time. If you were plugged in with a USB-C to that 100 watt charging port, you would slowly drain battery over time. One thing our labs did note when they were testing was, depending on the turbo frequency and everything, it was able to draw 160 watts total, which would even mean that that top USB-C port, which does 140, wouldn't be good enough either. So I prefer USB-C charging devices. So at least I can charge it idly, you know, when it's on my desk, but if I'm gaming, you need to bring the power brick. Since I was just mentioning labs, we might as well go over their gaming results, and across our 3 games in a couple different resolutions, it did pretty well. I always consider 60 FPS average or 1% lows kind of the bare minimum for a portable device. And the only thing that really stress tested was Total Warhammer 3 when we did our 1600p benchmark. Our 1% lows dropped to 45 and the average dropped below 60. The last thing I want to take a look at before I open the laptop is the camera. I do a lot of video calls on my laptop, so this is very important to me. We'll do a quick recording here. So that way you can hear how the audio sounds on this microphone, but this is how the camera looks as well. I'm gonna try the electronic shutter here. I think it worked. It was immediate. There it is, and I'm back. But now it's time to dissect this bad boy. All the screws are accessible, so that's nice. At least what I can see right now, it doesn't look like I have to peel back any feet. Finally got the back off here. And man, this looks kind of like a picture perfect teardown skin for D-Brand or something. It's very pretty. But you can see here are our two SSDs. Our came with two. Yours will come with one if you buy one. I don't know why they shipped us two, but this is an engineering sample device. So, you know, maybe something's gonna be slightly different in yours. I hope not, because this looks fantastic. I love the looks of this. Okay, what is this? Hold on. Oh, I think this is an adapter so that you can either do a 2280 SSD or a 2242, and it comes with the 2242. That's why it looked so strange. I was like, what the heck is this thing? But hey, that's kind of a nice little adapter then. And then this one is only a 2242. You won't be putting a full-size SSD in this one. Right here is our Wi-Fi 7 and our Bluetooth card. Down here are our speakers. Our battery here is an 84 watt-hour battery, which they claim can get you up to 12 hours of battery life. Our labs testing only got 6. And we're not 100% sure why. We did kind of think it was maybe because this is an engineering sample, and it could be because either they have perfected their test conditions to get 12 hours, or in our case, our BIOS maybe didn't get the latest revision. We're not 100% sure. They claim 12 hours though. One thing you, again, might not have noticed, which I mentioned earlier, is no upgradable RAM. And that's, again, because it's kind of soldered directly to the board with the CPU, that AI9HX470. And it has its NPU built in, so that way if you do decide to do any local AI workloads, it'll kind of help offload that to the NPU. So that way, hopefully, it'll help your battery performance, or you can save your CPU cores for any other demanding tasks that you may be working on. Which that NPU is the AMD XDNA2 NPU, and it delivers up to 55 trillion operations per second, or as I've taken to call it, ops per second. We've all got ops out there. AMD has 55 trillion. Hey, that joke's funny, okay? So whether it's for multitasking, fast image generation, or any sort of other local thing like voice translation, it should be very efficient in that. Efficient, just like I'm efficient with this ShortCircuit. Done, boom, it's over. Thanks Lenovo, thanks AMD for sponsoring it. If you guys are interested in getting your own device, or at least just checking them out, make sure you use our links in the video description. And you know what? I hope you have a good day. You know, everyone needs a good day now and then.